Good morning. Welcome. I'm Ann Borders, and welcome to this beautiful 2-day immersion of grace, this wellness convention, if you will. I'm super excited and honored to be able to open. I feel like the opening ceremonies, as it were, open with our meditation this morning. So I'm leading you from Louisville, Kentucky, but I know many of you are in Denver and probably many other places as well. But wherever you are hailing from this morning, I just want to say we are in community, even though we are separate. So we have a little experience of this now. It's been a year, but as you make your way into a comfortable seat, and so I always keep a chair for it's on that side, for my sadhana sessions in the Village Well platform, because I always want to remind you that it's okay. It's always okay to take a chair if your knees or your hips can't or don't want to sit on the floor this morning. The practice that we are doing is a very internal practice. And so as such, it should be accessible to all people. So once you have found yourself in a seat, I'm sitting on a block, you could sit on a couch cushion, a chair, anything. Once you've found yourself comfortable, I just want to welcome you and thank you for taking this leap of faith for yourself. And as we are sitting in community, but by ourselves, I just want to reassure you that even though you're at home, even though you are a party of one, perhaps where you're sitting, that we are in this together, sort of this human experience, as well as this beautiful container of practice these next 2 days. So I hope that you're able to go to some of those live classes, but if not, I'm just here to reassure you and tell you that we're in this together. Our bodies may be different. Our voices may sound different when we raise them in song. Our thoughts, our issues, our problems, our tight tissue, all of the things might be different, but we are together. In natural time, the Mayans had a saying, so I follow natural time, En Lakesh, which means I am another yourself. And if that is like a little bit of a brain twister or even a tongue twister this morning, that's okay. But when you think on it a little bit more, perhaps, I am another yourself is just the acknowledgement, very similar in traditional yoga, namaste, right? It's I am the light and I see your light. I recognize the same in you, right? I see and recognize the same in you. So once you're seated, once you're comfortable, just bring your hands onto your knees or thighs and lengthen up through your center. So that'll be sort of the through line, no pun intended, this morning is just really opening and becoming aware of our own center. Sometimes we call that central channel in traditional yoga. Sanskrit, it's Sushumna. So this channel from seat to crown, we just want to open it up because even as we go to move for these next 2 days, and I think Susan talked about it last night, you're going to fold forward. You're going to maybe open back a little. So you're going to be moving through space in many ways. But how do we successfully move through space if we haven't built our foundation steady? If we don't know where center is, how can we come back to it? And so that's why I'm here this morning. I am in service to you and in service to your center, which only you can find. But I'm here to encourage and express my way of finding center in the hopes that it will help you experience your own. Take a moment just to close your eyes if you haven't already. If closing your eyes is uncomfortable or untenable for you, you can always pick a spot to gaze at and then just fix your gaze and let everything else go gray. If the eyes are closed, you're still going to fix your gaze on one point in that dark space. Take a nice deep breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Do that a couple times. If you're sitting in a chair, I'm going to encourage you to move your bottom to the front of that chair. If you're sitting on a block or a cushion, likewise, I'm going to encourage you to move the weight forward onto your sitting bones rather than rocking back towards your tailbone. As you breathe in and out, notice where the breath is coming in and out. You don't have to manipulate it or move it right now. Just notice, is it in your chest, your belly, your back, your throat, your nose? Observing is the first step. There are no wrong answers. We humans are so likely to think that we are doing it wrong no matter what we're doing. Let's start off the weekend by shifting the narrative to I am doing this right. I'm in exactly the right place. I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to figure all of this out today, right now. I can ride this wave of experience. I can be present to myself and invite myself to open to that which arises today, tomorrow, every day. How can I be present to what arises if my mind is jumping forward, jumping back, forward into the stories, or likely even the negative narrative? Right? We have a negative bias in our brain. So, how can I be present if I'm jumping forward or revisiting past hurts and traumas? Those are real. But can you, in this moment, become aware of your sitting bones instead? As you breathe in, can you start to feel a through line from your sitting bones up through your torso, running the length of your neck? And then as you bring your ears back over your shoulders, because our heads tend to go forward, bringing the ears back, resting the head into the space behind you, can you feel now that line of breath expanding through the throat and up through to the top of your head? If the answer is no, that's okay. If the answer is yes, that's okay. You might notice that what I really care about is your self acceptance. What I really care about is your intention. Find a couple more breaths, rooting into the sitting bones and then breathing up to the top of your head in your mind's eye. And then exhaling that breath back down to your seat. I know there are no lungs in your throat or your head, but just imagining the breath coming from seat to crown and back again is a powerful visualization. You may begin to get clues. So if you start to visualize the core of your center, it's not skinny like a rope. It's the size of your neck. So imagine the size of your neck. You can even wrap your hands around your throat to feel the size of that. And then visualize the neck, spaciousness continuing on down to your seat. And the clue I mentioned, you might start to get clues about where you have cut off awareness or where you've pinched a little compression. So when I sit and get aware, this is my experience. Feel free to explore your own. Sometimes I'll notice I have a little pinch at my waistline on the back side of my body. That's because I spent like 15 years squeezing my shoulder blades together. So I'm going to widen my shoulder blades, walk my fingers further down my knees, and then invite my ribs to grow wider and fuller, not just side to side, but back to front. And then that pinch goes away. So I've expanded with my awareness the space inside. Your pinch might be under the shoulder blade, or maybe you don't have a pinch. Maybe you have something else. Bring your chin to level. Fix your gaze once again on that point. And every time you exhale, there will be the temptation to drop the rib cage back down onto the waistline. Keep yourself upright, even if you're using the strength within your arms, just like sticks, to keep the torso tall and lifted and bright and aware. We're going to be here sitting quietly for about 3 to 5 minutes. Try to be still. If something is hurting, obviously you need to take a pause and address it. But before you make any movements during this 3-minute segment, I want you to take 3 breaths in and out before you move anything. So before you scratch that nose, wiggle that lip, fix your hair, whatever it might be, take 3 breaths in and out, because sometimes the need disappears. And that's a great discipline, a great practice. Breathe in, stay tall, and allow your breath to wander through your body as you keep your attention, your awareness within. If you find that your attention wandered forward into the future, back into the past, that is a successful moment, the moment that you realize. So please don't beat yourself up. Just come back to the awareness of your breath and of your body. If you find you're easily distracted, bring the visualization back of the breath going up and down the spine. Your body is a cosmos, a universe unto itself. As you're sitting quietly, reverence. Have reverence for your experience. Have reverence for your breath, for your body, for this moment. Keep your body just as it is. Begin to deepen your breath. And before your eyes open, do you feel different? Where is your center? Back ribs are full, side ribs are full. So there's a physical center, an axis, top to bottom, side to side, front to back. Really, it's a spherical axis, if there is such a thing. But what I hope you also feel is a center to yourself. In the same way that we talk about our core, right? You'll hear people talk about their core all day long in a gym. We also talk about our core values. So, just as there's a physical axis in your body, there is also a center that is subtle. It's your values, your intentions, your dreams, your breath. We go on and on about the breath in so many practices. Maybe you understand exactly why that is, but it was years before I understood that the breath was emblematic of not just spirit, which it is, but it's that thing that lives within us and outside of us, that thing we share in community. It's the thing we can focus on. But if we forget to focus on it, we don't die. It happens naturally. It's the perfect anchor. So if you haven't noticed where your breath is coming in, how it's coming in, this would be a good time to check in with your breath. And I asked you not to manipulate it in the beginning, but in this moment, if you notice that your inhale is longer or your exhale is longer, I'd like for you to start to match them up. If you'd like to open your eyes, you can. If you want to fix your gaze on one point, But coherent breathing is a way to find center. So if your breath comes in for 4 beats or 5 beats or 6 beats, we're going to let the breath go out for 4 or 5 or 6 beats. So you're going to match the length of your inhale and exhale. If your eyes are still closed, that's great too. If you need to adjust your seat, feel free to do that in this moment before you practice that breath work. So I'm just going to spend about a couple of minutes matching inhale to exhale. If you want to add that visualization piece, you can continue to imagine the breath coming from sitting bones to the top of the head. But I'd love it if you imagined the inhale going down one side of the spine. So for me, I like to imagine the inhale coming down the left side of the spine. And then at the top of the inhale, it crosses under the tail and goes up and out the right side of my spine. So mental nadi shodhana. So it's like a channel clearing breath. And we're going to match inhale and exhale in length. And we've got probably all levels of participants here. So you may be a very regular meditator and you may have not meditated at all. If you are on the newer end of things, I will say if your feet have gone to sleep, it's helpful to just leave them there until the end of the meditation. Otherwise, you have to deal with pins and needles and such. The feet will still be there, no problem. Okay. So breathing in and out. I'm massaging my foot. So we're going to do a lot more myofascial massage this weekend, which is amazing. But I'm massaging my foot because I made that rookie mistake of uncrossing. If you would like to add a mantra here. So mantra is just it's a mind instrument to keep the body and the mind connected so that you don't go off into fantasy or whimsy. You don't have to use one, but if it would be helpful to keep yourself focused when practicing coherent breathing or relaxation, I really like one of two mantras. Probably my favorite is so hum. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale, just repeat it to yourself. So hum, it means I am in Sanskrit. Owning your belonging. I am. I am. So on the inhale, hum on the exhale. The other one I like if you're less comfortable with Sanskrit, super simple. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Very effective. When it comes to sitting quietly or meditation, Dean Slider, a great meditation teacher, always says, working doesn't work, not working works. That's the great paradox in meditation. So just take a few more, maybe 3 or 4 more breaths in and out through the nose. Find your center. In every meaning of the word, find your center. And before you open your eyes, commit to being true to yourself, being authentic in your practice, being reverent to your body, to your breath, being faithful to the community of your heart, and really laying the groundwork for greatness, for evolution. When your eyes open, if you want to open your eyes, you don't have to. We're all doing this on our own, so you can certainly keep the eyes closed. But if you're ready to open your eyes, you certainly can. Coming back to earth, I just want to close with a little passage from one of my favorite books, which happens to be out of print now, but it's called Courage and Contentment. And so I thought it feels really appropriate as we approach and we're ready to set ourselves on the path of wellness, of greatness, of evolution. Um, Susan talked last night about opening our tickle spots, right? So this practice is going to ask us to open ourselves in lots of ways that may feel vulnerable. And so I found this passage in my favorite book. This is what it's purple, Courage and Contentment by Guru Maharaj Chivilasananda. So this is a quote from her in August of 1997. Being inside out is your strength. She said, there is something I want to make very clear. The experience of divine love makes you extremely strong. The experience of the truth, capital T, of supreme consciousness does not make you feeble. It does not weaken you. Sometimes people have the understanding that if you are immersed in God's love, and you can fill in the blank if you prefer universe or source or a different word, please make that comfortable for yourself. So if you are immersed in God's love, you should wear a syrupy smile and always say yes to everything. You should never contradict anyone. Baba used to say that many people would like to have a spineless guru, but weakness is not what he taught, and it is not what he lived. The experience of love has great strength. The experience of divinity is very powerful. This does not mean you have to behave in a particular way. You let your strength and courage come forward naturally. When it is time to say no, you say no with courage and dignity. When it is time to say yes, you say yes with the same courage and dignity. Please understand that being inside out is your strength. It doesn't mean you are so vulnerable that you can no longer function in this world. Being inside out, your strength shimmers in the air. I look forward to experiencing this beautiful time with each of you. I look forward to all of us experiencing that, turning ourselves inside out and watching the collective shimmer in the air as we bring forth that which is the lightest, the highest, the best in each of us. Take your hands right to your heart, palm to palm, just joining your palms together in this reverent position prayer. And then allow the thumbs to come to the forehead in a gesture that means victory to our spirits. I acknowledge the light in you and the same in me. Namaste. Have a beautiful day, everybody. I look forward to seeing you soon.